This is Team Push. That means persistent until shit happens. That's my team's name. This is our first team call. So we have Melissa Brewer on with us, and I'm just going to give you a little bit of background on her. I was able to speak on her team call last night, and she's amazing. Her people are amazing. She has been a coach for 4.5 years. She's an 8-star diamond as of tomorrow, and make sure to check your back offices tonight. Make sure people are active. She's an 8-star diamond in her first CBC, a 3-star diamond in her second CBC. She's a 3-time elite coach, which is amazing, a Success Club all-star legend, and she quit her job 2 years ago. So I think she has a couple topics to talk about tonight, but I'm going to hand it off over to her, and thank you so much for being on this call with us.
Yeah, of course. You're so welcome, and thanks for that intro. I always feel a little weird, like when I'm being introduced, because all those numbers, like things, I don't know, they are great, but my purpose, when I became a coach, I really had the complete desire to leave my full-time job. That was my sole purpose. Like, I already loved health and fitness. I did have weight to lose. My baby was like 4.5 months old. So I still had quite a bit of baby weight to lose. But that was my purpose. Like, that was the number one thing that I wanted to achieve with coaching, was to quit my full-time job. Just to give you a little background, I was a teacher. I was an English teacher, and I was also the head volleyball coach. So I would go to school with 2 kids under 2. We'd leave the house at 6:45. We'd get to the school by 7. I'd drop the kids off right when the daycare opened. I would head to my classroom, get there by 7:10-ish, 7:15, which was my contract time that I had to be there at. And I would work all day long. Our contract ended at 3:30, I believe, something like that. Maybe it was 2:50, I can't remember. But I think I would work till 3:30. I'd then go to volleyball practice until like 6. And then I'd go, I'd bring my kids with me. And then we'd go home, do dinner, we'd do bath time. And like that, it was like Groundhog Day every single day. And that got really, really exhausting. And as much as I loved teaching, what hurt me the most and what I hated about working full time was the fact that I was missing so much of my kids' lives. And I know a lot of you are young and you're maybe not moms and maybe can't relate to that, but I promise you one day you will. And I wish so much I would have had this opportunity when I was in my 20s and when I was in college, or even right after college. Like, I wish I had found this when I was a lot younger so that I would never have had to go through that. But I will tell you that experience has made me appreciate it that much more. In talking with Bailey, I was thinking about some of the things that, I could bring to you guys that would, provide some help or do something for you or give you some kind of guidance. And as we were talking, she was kind of sharing with me that, and I know this because I've been there, that, in that first year that you're a coach, you go through a lot of ups and downs. You're trying to learn so much, first of all, and it almost feels like you're being just like flooded with information. Like, you're drowning, you're barely keeping your head up. You're like, I didn't even go through this training. Now I've got this and I've got that and I've got the National Wake Up Call and I've got this training. And it feels really overwhelming. And I remember feeling that too. I remember thinking we didn't even have a lot of training. So I can't even imagine what a lot of you guys feel now that we have so many resources. We have so many trainings available on the Beachbody Champs page. We have so many, just all this wealth of information on YouTube and in the back office. Like, literally no one should fail in this business because there is so much out there for us. But for some reason we do. And it reminded me of a concept that I had learned as a newer coach. I can't even remember where, if it was like a personal development book I read, but Carol Dweck came up with this idea of a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. Maybe you've heard of it, I'm not sure, but I wanted to talk a little bit about that and kind of apply that to coaching and help you guys to maybe see that, this could be something that you could apply into your life, not just coaching, but in every part of your life. So one thing that I learned as a new coach is that persistence and consistency are so important. When we are going through the daily life of, and did I get muted? Sorry. Can you still hear me? It said I got muted, so I got confused. But as we're going through this, figuring out our schedule, trying to see where coaching fits in and life fits in, and like really scheduling out our days, sometimes we can forget to share, we can forget to post in our stories, we can forget to, or maybe we get so overwhelmed, we're like, I don't even know what to share anymore. And one thing that I've learned is just being consistent and showing up is so important to the success of your business. But what happens when you do not see success right away? I'll tell you that probably 90% of my coaches who are not seeing success right away will come to me and they'll say, we'll be talking and they'll say, I'm just not good at this. I'm just not good at coaching. Okay. And that's kind of what brings me to this growth mindset. So I want to tell you what a growth mindset is, first of all. So a growth mindset, by definition, is individuals who believe their talents can be developed through hard work or good strategies or input from others, but they believe that their talents can be developed. Having a fixed mindset is someone who believes that they are born with innate talents and gifts. Okay, so just kind of give you that comparison. Growth is where you believe your talents can be developed, and fixed is where you believe you're born with the talents that you have and you aren't able to develop the talents that you were given. So what happens to people who have a growth mindset? For one, they put energy into learning. So they read personal development, they conquer challenges by having a positive mindset and understanding that they can change and they can grow and they can develop. They seek help from others. So a mentor, a friend, a group, a team, a community. They try new strategies and get creative. How we might apply that to the Beachbody world is, doing something that you haven't seen done before. Being able to, if something isn't working, change and try something else. Another thing that someone with a growth mindset does is they fail forward. Okay. And that's like basically my theme song. Failing forward is so important because something that I believe is if we're not failing, we're not growing. That's what I always taught my students as a teacher is I want them to fail. If they're not learning anything in my class and they already know everything, I'm not doing my job. And that's honestly how I feel about coaching. If you already know everything, if you already have helped all the people that you can help and you don't have that open mind that you have room to grow and you have room to change, then you're really not in the right profession. But I think having that failing forward mindset is so important because you're able to then capitalize on your setbacks and move forward effectively. People with a growth mindset are willing to take risks, and they're willing to take those risks even when they know that they might fail. Okay. And I think that's really key. And it almost goes without saying because a risk, in my opinion, by definition, is something that just might not work out. That's why it's risky, right? But people with a growth mindset are willing to take risks because they know, and we all know this, that anything really great usually has some kind of risk with it. Like, think about when you went on your first date. Okay, there was a risk that that person might not like you back, or that you might not like them. But you took that risk because you knew that there would be something great on the other side. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting like super distracted by those delicious fries that that person's eating. I'm like, yeah, that looks like something I need in my life right now. Okay, so the last thing that I thought about for people who with a growth mindset is they're willing to collaborate rather than compete. And I think that's so crucial for coaches to remember. We often will, by nature, feel competitive. You'll look at a coach next to you, maybe someone on your team or on your uplines team. You'll say, gosh, like they're at SC 10 and I can't even help one person this month. Like, who am I? And I just must be a bad coach. I must not be very good at this. Okay, people with a growth mindset would instead say, I'm going to talk to that girl. I'm going to go see, what are you doing and how can I learn from you? And so that I can then be up there on the top of the SC boards with you. So I want to give you an example of kind of what coaching, like an example of what this might look like in the coaching world. I know I've given a couple, but one of the examples that I had thought about is, let's say like you're a coach and you do not hit your rank goal, like whether that's emerald or diamond or maybe it's an SC goal, but you have this goal in your first month, maybe your second month, or maybe you want it to be a success starter. So let's say you do not hit that goal, okay? If you have a fixed mindset, your initial thought is, I really suck at coaching. And why am I even trying? Okay. That would then lead to the action of less effort put into your coaching business, maybe only posting every other day or avoiding your workouts or not sharing authentically, copying posts from other coaches, thinking that might help you. Just a decreased effort on your part in sharing your journey, which would then also lead to, of course, diminished as a coach. Now, on the flip side, a coach who does not hit a rank goal, whether that's emerald or diamond or success starters or whatever it might be, they might, with a growth mindset, they would be someone who would say, I have so much to learn still. And I know that I can grow through this and I can next month hit Success Club. Okay. That mindset would then lead to an increased effort. Someone who puts more into their coaching business, who applies something different, tries something new, gets a little creative, adds a little spin to their posts, maybe starts posting more, sharing their journey more authentically, doing something different and creative, and applying this growth mindset, talking to other people, learning from others' successes and failures, and moving forward. That would then lead to increased success, most likely someone hitting Success Club or achieving a rank goal, sharing more authentically, and increased performance. So I wanted to share these things because, you guys, so often we face challenges, we face criticism. I know when I first became a coach, and I shared this just, I think, this morning on my post, when I first became a coach, I had a lot of people who criticized me. And a lot of those people were family. And a lot of those people were people close to me. And that hurt and it stung. But I also had a lot of support. I had a lot of family who were super supportive and wanted me to succeed. It was hard to see the positive because that negative feels so big. But I had that growth mindset without even knowing what this was. I had that growth mindset that I could overcome and I could become better at coaching. I wasn't a coach who hit Success Club super easy. I worked hard every single month to hit it. I can proudly say that I am a success starter, but it didn't go without work. We are going to fail. If you don't fail in this business, like, I want to talk to you, because I can tell you every single coach, every top coach, every middle of the pack coach, like literally every single coach who is persistent and who's still here today has failed at some point. So get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Failure can hurt, but do not dwell. Have that growth mindset and know, okay, what can I learn from this and how can I move forward? One of the things that I want to kind of finish with, and I know this is kind of shorter, but it's also like kind of, I don't know if there's really much more to say about it, is with a growth mindset, we must identify those things that trigger us. So if you do not hit a goal, is that something that really hits you hard and makes you think these thoughts like, gosh, I really suck at this, or, you know, or maybe it's, I don't get as many likes on my post as that person, or I don't have as many followers, or whatever your trigger is, you must identify it and work with it. So use it as your competition. I always try to compete with myself for like Success Club, for example. This is kind of a fun competition you can have with yourself, and I've shared it with my team a million times, but I like to compete with the day of the month. So if it's September, or what's the month? October. If it's October 2nd, I want to at least be Success Club at Success Club 2. If it's October 10th, I want to at least be at Success Club 10. If it's October 28th, I want to be at least Success Club 28. Okay. So do you get what I'm saying there? I compete with myself instead of looking at other people on the board. If I'm more than that, I mean, hallelujah, that's great. But if I continually am competing with that day of the month, I'm only competing with myself. It's a challenge I've given myself. And if I fail, like, I'll be straight up honest with you guys, this month has been like not typical for me. And right now I'm at SC4. And that's a struggle for me because I'm like, it's the 10th. Like, I need to be at SC10. So that makes me work that much harder and know that I have so much more to do to get caught up to the goals that I've set for myself. Okay, so those little friendly competitions and things can really help you to push a little harder, to do a little more. Maybe you want to say, okay, maybe you're a brand new coach, or maybe you've been a coach for a month or 2 months and you're not quite emerald, or you're working towards diamond. Give yourself a goal date. Say, by this time, by the 10th or by the 20th, I will be an emerald coach, or I will be a diamond coach. And if you get to that point and you are a diamond coach or you are an emerald coach, clap for yourself, celebrate that, reward yourself, go out to dinner with your friends or your spouse or whoever it might be. Celebrate that. If you're not, okay, what should you do? Should you wallow and complain? No. Set a new date and go after that goal. A goal is not a deadline, you guys. A goal is meant to push you. It's meant to stretch you. It's meant to make you work hard. But it's not meant to discourage you. It's not meant to make you stop trying. That goal is there to help you to push yourself to do something you have not done before. Okay? All right. So I think that's everything I had in terms of what I had prepared. But if you guys have questions or want to talk about anything, I'm open to a little Q&A as well.
I loved where you said that people with the growth mindset are willing to collaborate rather than compete, because there's so many coaches, especially on our upline, that try to compete with each other. And that is like the last thing you want to do in Beachbody. I feel like everyone should just be we're family. And that's why like Melissa's on this team call, because me and her became friends and we're not competing with each other. Like, I'm not competing with an elite coach. I'm not competing with Delilah. I'm not competing with anyone on my team. I'm just there to help you, and you're there to help me. And we're there to help each other grow. So that was my favorite.
That's true. I love that. Who's your upline? I don't even know. Who's your...
I'm on Team Boom. So it's like not Ashley Fell Dyson, but I'm on the same team as her, basically.
Okay.
But yeah, that was my favorite part. Thank you so much for speaking. I loved that. I took all my notes.
Oh, good. You're so welcome. I hope it was helpful.
Oh yeah, for sure. Thank you so much. I don't know what else to say. Thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, of course. You're so welcome.
All right. I'll put this up on YouTube if you want to share it or anything like that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night, everyone.
Have a great night, you guys. See ya.
Bye.